5.5 is polynomials. We're going to discuss what polynomials are and how we can solve polynomials. So first and foremost, what we need to do is to identify terms and coefficients and even factors of terms. And these terms will be part of our polynomials. Multiple terms make up polynomials. So key concept here. Little do we know, poly in Greek means many. So many-nomials means many pieces. Mono, as we've talked about a mononomial. And the mononomial means one. So there's one term. Polynomials, there are going to be multiple terms. And the prefixes in Latin of bi means two, tri means three. So just as a bicycle, 2 wheels, tricycle, 3 wheels. One more definition, or really two. A polynomial is a mononomial or sum of mononomials. So polynomial, it has many mononomials to it. Binomial is a polynomial with 2 terms. Trinomial is a polynomial with 3 terms. So let's see here. Determine if the expression is a polynomial. If so, is it a mononomial? Does it have 1 term? Binomial, 2 terms? Or trinomial, 3 terms? So this first one is yes, it's a polynomial. It's a polynomial because it has our 2 terms, and it has 2 terms, so that means it's a binomial. Now this next one, well, 1 over x, remember when we looked at it before, it's not a mononomial. So because this is not a mononomial, this is not a polynomial. This should be an Our next one, this is yes. It's a polynomial. I'll just do poly for right now so I can fit all of this. And I have 1, 2, 3. And yes, that last piece is going to count as a term for us, even though it doesn't have an x attached to it. So this is a trinomial because it has 3 terms. All right. Another key term that we need to talk about is a coefficient. And a coefficient is a numeric term that's in front of a variable. It could actually be behind the variable, but usually we show it in front of the variable. So in this case, my coefficient is 5. And sometimes I can have a coefficient of a fraction. So my coefficient here is 1/2. I could write this coefficient, could also be written as y cubed over 2. And this still is a coefficient of 1/2. All I did was I did 1/2 times y cubed over 1. So fractions are going to be a little bit trickier, but we'll continue to work with them in how to determine the coefficients of a fraction when we have fractions. All right, so identify the terms, give the coefficient of each term. So my terms here are 4x squared is a term, 3x is a term, and -5 is a term. Notice that I bring that entire piece together as a negative. My coefficient is 4, 3, and -5. So these are all the coefficients. And the next one here, my terms are 2, -3, -1. There's an invisible 1 that sits right here. And 3. So those are the coefficients because each of these pieces are my terms. So I have 4 terms, which I really have a polynomial. Alright, so here, for each of these, I want you to state whether it's a polynomial and what type of polynomial it is, and then also tell me what the coefficients are. So write down your coefficients as well.